everywhere. It's
Mm.
$1,100. All right.
All right. So, welcome to The Right Can't Read. I have no bit, I just have
Uh,
been actively and feverishly confused by what's happening for music. And
I
I want to do a
I
follow up to our country episode.
I think that's good. Let's do it.
Yeah.
I did my homework and I listened to these two horrible things that we were talking about in other content. At least two of the things. I don't know if you got more than the two songs in
I
your
have
brain.
I have a few things that I would
All right.
love to get your thoughts on, but yes, let's start with your thoughts on either one of the original.
I so there is okay. Let's start by talking about Jason Aldean.
Oh, good lord! Starting
And
at the worst and working our way.
yeah. Try that in a small town. So here's the thing about Jason Aldean is I have no idea when he became an artist because the name sounds like someone who has been around for a long time.
Yeah, since the dawn of.
But my I got a friend who I know from Tennessee who now lives in Japan, and he had no idea who Jason.
Blessings upon him.
So that makes me think that this happened post that he is relatively new, but I don't know. Do you know when he started recording?
I believe his first album came out in like 2005.
Okay, so I'm not wrong. He has been around for a while.
He has been around, and like
Okay.
it's impossible to be a new artist and look as divorced as Jason Aldean does. He's not.
Yeah, that was
divorced, but he
another
looks
data
divorced.
point in my assumption that he has been around for a while. Like
Yeah.
he's got a Ford F-150 with a thin blue line decal
Absolutely.
on it. He's got a dog that he yells at.
Yeah.
A yard that is now his vessel for all of his emotion.
Yeah, yeah. Which is just him yelling Hispanic gardener.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he sucks. So I was listening to this song, Try That in a Small Town, and it was the dumbest song I've heard in a long time.
Yes.
The drums are terrible. Like it's a very basic drum beat through the entire song. It's got butt rock guitar.
That's a butt rock guitar.
And then acoustic guitar that sounds like baby's first chord progression.
Yeah. And
With,
like you haven't even gotten to close to the worst part of the song.
The lyrics are god awful.
Yeah.
How about you talk about the lyrics? Because I heard them and I listened to them and they just slid off of my brain as if Jason Aldean was casting dissonant whispers on me.
Solid. The only time D&D and Jason Aldean have made it into the.
I'm an artist. This is my art.
Yeah, so the lyrics of Trying Out in a Small Town are like, there are things you can read into a microphone. These aren't one of them, because I will never be able to look at myself the same way after doing that.
And we've talked about Varg's tabletop role-playing game.
Oh, yeah. I mean, in the immortal words of the Coen, they say what you will about the tenets of National Socialism, at least it's an ethos. It's just like, Try That in a Small Town is just like, what if the like lamest dude from your high wrote about how much he dislikes Fox News's picture of Portland and San Francisco?
Yeah, it's fun. Like I've got a little co-op campaign of Baldur's Gate going with a friend of mine, and we were chatting about what we wanted our characters to be, and we were like, well, we don't want to be evil because neither of us feel good about that, so let's just be like the drunk guys at a bar.
Yes.
And that is this song.
Yes.
My dwarf barbarian's name is Carvin, and Carvin just attacks people who are rude to him. That is Jason Aldean.
Yeah, yeah. Except
that
way
is this
less
song.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it like starts with him talking about essentially like how people in cities are like beating up random people and carjacking old ladies,
pulling guns on liquor store owners.
Yeah, and like everyone's burning flags and like cussing at cops. Honestly, it's the kind of America that I want, but he's against it, clearly.
For a brief moment in 2020 and Redacted, we
I
had
lived
that
it.
America.
Yeah. People were just burning flags and cussing out cops and punching people they don't like on the sidewalk. It was great. It was my utopia. I'm here for it. Rob a liquor in a non-actionable way.
And I kind of like, I swear, like there were more liquor store robberies when I lived in a small town.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then he moves on to talking. Then he gets to they said the title in the show mode, where he says, well, try that in a small town. And he just starts like dishing out threats about what happens if you burn a flag in a small town.
Yep.
And implies that he's going to shoot people and fight people, and his friends are really tough guys, and they'll do the same.
Good old boys are coming in.
Yeah. There are lots I love about this song. Really strike me about Jason Aldean as a person. And I feel like a lot to say, having both been people who grew up in small town. That like Jason Aldean is from Macon, Georgia.
Yeah, okay.
It's
how big is Macon?
150,000 people.
All right, yeah, fuck off.
Yeah.
The town that I lived in was, I think, 15.
Yeah. It's part of the it's also like a small in a greater statistical area that has 500,000 people.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he is in no way from a small town.
No, and like by a lot of metrics, like God, that was like
yeah, like the idea that like the hilarious thing is that like anyone would want to try this in a small town. That like I love the idea. This is one of my favorite right-wing trends, that like Portland Antifa or Berkeley students or like LA fucking Black Panther are gonna ride to like Frog Dick, Idaho.
Yeah, well, I mean, to be fair, Frog Dick, Idaho has a really good burger place.
Yeah, sure.
No, yeah, I mean, we saw it with like the wildfires in 2020. Like they worked themselves into a tizzy thinking that Antifa was setting the fires.
Yeah.
And set up blockades that wound up contributing to towns getting burned down.
Yes.
Because these fucking maniacs were so goddamn just maniacs.
Yeah. And there's a great thing he says, which is that he wrote the song to like try to that in small towns, quote, we all have each other's backs and we look out for each other.
That's fucking bullshit.
Yeah,
that is absolute bullshit.
Small
yeah. No. Like the closest you get to that is if you go to church with people.
Yeah.
But even then, church is just you talk shit about each other.
Yeah.
All the time. Like obviously I was not in a church, but I had friends who were in like the big church in Smyrna, and they the most snipey motherfuckers in the world, and they didn't help each other. No one helped each other.
There's like no sense of solidarity in like small towns by and large, no more than in big cities for sure.
Yeah, I would argue there's more in big cities because you have anarchists in big cities.
Yeah, that's true.
Who feed people.
Yeah.
You don't get food not bombs in Smyrna, Tennessee.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. You grew up in a different part of the count, but it sounds like you were very similar.
Yeah, it was like a small rural agricultural town in Hawaii, which like is different, but isn't. Like it was cattle ranchers and farmers and just like people.
Just doing the fun sounds.
I don't like it. You good, fam? You're fucking impeding my audio quality.
This is the problem with dogs, is they don't respect the sanctity of audio recording. Listeners, I beg you, if you have dogs, you must train them to respect the sanctity recordings.
We'll cut that in post so it doesn't look like I abuse it.
No, well, no, you're laying the law down.
Yeah, I'm establishing myself as an alpha.
Yeah, this is how you train dogs. Trust me, I know. I rule Barry with an iron fist.
he looks ruled with an iron fist.
Absolutely. Where did he go? All right. Yeah.
And so I then set out because Jason Aldean, right?
Of course not.
Yeah. So I was like, let's cut him some slack. Maybe he was like, I'm a fascist. I make it. So all of the writers are from towns that have over 150 people. And the producer is also from, there was no one involved in Try That in a Small Town that grew up in a small town.
Who are these? Okay. I know a couple of people who write song or used to write songs for country. Thankfully, none of them were.
Yeah. Like, this is my best friend from college.
Yeah. Oh no.
And I really wanted to talk about Try That in a Sound because I think it's the ultimate, like, it's been a joke about country for a lot. Like, these are people in $400 jeans
Yeah.
who have never been to a small city in their life. And this is just like the epitome of,
Yeah.
like, it's the combining of like weird fascist politics with not knowing how small towns or like the actual people you're singing to work
Yeah.
in a way that I don't think has really been done before.
I don't know. I feel like Florida Georgia Line probably had similar shit.
They ever making so overtly just though.
That I don't know because I did not listen.
No one's ever listened to a full Florida Georgia Line song.
This is a fact. Yeah, I will not be told otherwise.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
nothing good has ever come out of Florida, and that is
nothing.
a fact. Yeah,
absolutely not.
Yeah. Florida Georgia Line is just a warning. In fact. Yeah. If you hear
Cross
that you
no
are
further.
near the Florida Georgia line, you need to move either north or south as quickly as possible.
Yeah, no, you might be right.
It's just like the white collarization of like clan politics in a way that's like totally interesting.
Yeah. Packaging that, making it palatable, making it into a hit. Yeah, there were comments on the video that were like, stay true to yourself, Jason. We love you for this. And man, just I don't know. I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
It's just such a goddamn bummer because I was listening after to some of the Highwaymen songs.
Oh, very good.
Yeah. And it used to be good.
Yeah.
And now here we are.
Yeah. I think what we're trying to say about Try That in a Small Town is that the 2017 Las Vegas shooter needed to work. He had the opportunity to prevent this. He could have killed Jason Aldean. And he's to do it.
I had forgotten that had happened.
At a Jason Aldean concert.
Yeah. Oh my god. I just every time I meet someone who is not from this country, who has chosen to move here, you just gotta wonder why at this point they don't leave again, you know?
Yeah. Yes.
Like, and I'm specifically talking about people from like Western Europe.
Oh yeah. Like, get the fuck out of here. What are you doing?
Yeah, there was a woman with like a German or an Austrian accent in bar the other night that I was at. Why are you here? why did you leave?
Yeah, like, just go anywhere. The other fact I learned about Aldean that I can't stop thinking about is that his children are named Memphis and Navy.
What?
Which feels like you're trying too hard.
That sounds like a weird, like a right-wing version of, like Joaquin Phoenix's family has all the strange names.
Yeah.
That's how it feels like. It's like, I'm just going to go with SEC things. We're going to be Memphis. You're going to be Commodore.
It is like, it's got to be a college football thing. I didn't even think about that. Fuck, I thought they were just stupid, but now they're so much worse. Third Jesus. Child Roll Tide.
Yeah, this is Go Pig Suey.
Oh, yeah. He just sucks. This song sucks. And the fact that we're like turning fascism into like a marketable stadium country.
Yeah.
In a way that we didn't even do during like 9/11 is remarkable.
Yeah, I can't wait for the tour to hit Redacted.
Oh, fuck.
All of these people rolling through my neighborhood in giant cowboy boots and their tank F-150s because they're scared to take the Max.
I bet if
I'm a fucking true American. I don't need to do that. I am taking the fucking train. Fuck that. It's a crime train.
Well, he's coming in a month, so enjoy. Oh, yeah. I feel like there's a kind of thing that's like possible to make if you are like a Frankenstein of movie producers and music
Yeah.
producers, like images of what country music looks.
Well, I think I told this story about, when I was in middle school going to the Country Music Hall of Fame and writing just the fill in the blank country song about a Ford truck,
Yeah.
50 whatever it was. And it's just that's what it is you get the songwriters who have not lived in small town, would never live it, are
Yeah.
like, well, we this is what the four quadrant consumer of country music wants.
Yeah.
So we're going to write a song that is aggro based on Fox News talking points, and we're going to slap together easy to produce, easy to play music that's going to hit because it's familiar.
Yes.
That's what it is, and it's not surprising, but like everything else in this world, it's frustrating and tiring.
Yeah. It is incredibly frustrating and
Yeah,
tiring.
yeah, so tired all the time.
Oh, and just like the fact that the thing Jason Aldean known for before this song was writing country songs and performing them where you the radio and just like shotgun out other people's names. You just be like, oh, this is fucking Tim
Oh,
McGraw or
yeah, yeah.
Alan Jackson, like whoever the fuck. And that's like all he's done for his entire career. And I just have questions about like why this is his pivot.
It's makes money.
Yeah.
I think that's the easy answer. That's it. It makes money. You got to afford, the other house in Belle Meade in Nashville.
Yeah. Gotta look as fancy as possible.
Yeah. If Taylor Swift has a penthouse near Vanderbilt, you got to get that mansion in Belle Meade.
Yeah.
Show your benefit bona fides.
And I just wonder if this is what we're gonna be subjected to ever at this point. Like,
Well, at some point, we're all going to die. So no, not forever.
the sweet
And that's
release of
yeah.
a Jason Aldean-less afterlife.
Exactly. That should comfort you.
Because this is like a thought that's been needling in the back of my brain since the Budweiser boycott.
Yeah.
Which is that like there are enough crazy conservative fucking fascist wackos to be a market force if they
Yeah.
work together. If they even have like one schism, there just aren't enough.
Yeah.
But if they're like all formed into one weird glob of they can do things like make an objectively horrible song top the chart.
Yeah.
Or basically have like a impact that destroys Budweiser.
Or bully Target into taking down their pride flags.
Fucking
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or the Los Angeles Dodgers to back down from inviting an LGBTQ.
I forgot about that.
Oh, I didn't.
The Dodgers are the villains, so it's fine. We always knew they were bad.
Are they?
Absolutely.
Okay. I'm not I don't remember. That wasn't skepticism. That was I don't remember.
I think it's undercut by the fact that the main character goes to play for the Dodgers. But
that's right, he does.
Yeah.
Have you watched this recently, or do you just remember it?
I watched The Sandlot like 80 times as a child. It is the best
Okay.
childhood movie.
I beg to differ. That was Star Trek 4, The Voyage Home.
That's an insane answer.
The one where they go
With
back
the
in
whales?
time with the whales. It's either that or The Great Mouse Detective. Fight me. Those are the
Great
two.
Mouse Detective was a close second.
It's a good movie.
A lot of good movies about mice. Fievel Goes West.
Fievel Goes West. Oh yeah, Fievel Goes West was on pretty heavy road. I was scared of first one. That was a scary movie. I don't remember why, but I remember being scared of it.
You're like, this mouse is clearly Jewish and things are not going well.
Yeah, I don't know.
I feel it deep in my bones.
Yeah, no. Did I tell you I was talking to one of our mutual friends. And she was like, do you think that Jews are better equipped to deal with stress because of all of the problems that Jews have had? I go, no, you know me. Why would you think that? It's the opposite. And I was telling this to another friend of mine, and she was also obviously also baffled. And she was like, I've been at so many Jewish conferences where they're like psychiatrists who are like, yeah, you guys are fucked up as a people.
Man, Might be because we're the villains in one of society's main holy books.
There's going to be a sequel to The
The
Passion
Bible?
of the Christ
Oh no.
because Mel Gibson needs to be stopped and no one will stop him.
Christ 2, the Christening.
He dipped out and then he made what was it, Fury, I think, and then another other couple of movies and kind of got rehabilitated. And I'm pretty sure, unless that was a joke art, which is not out of the realm of possibility, Passion of the Christ Resurrection is the title.
No.
I'm going to go to
That's
IMDb.
Such a funny title.
A sequel to The Passion of the Christ 2004 focuses on the events that occurred 3 days between the crucifixion and resurrection, when Jesus Christ descended to Abraham's bosom to preach and resurrect Old Testament saints.
Wait, so they're doing the Christ in purgatory bit?
That's what it sounds like.
Insane.
Well, because then the storyline is different from what I just read, or the storyline section. This one says the sequel focuses on the events that occurred 3 days between the crucifixion and the resurrection.
Yeah, Mel Gibson needs to be stopped.
He does need, and related news, Sound of Freedom. In Caviezel.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, just fucking Jason Aldean.
Jason Aldean.
I hate that guy. And I hope that I don't just have to listen to like all of Bro Country pivot into like getting white dudes' dicks hard about how tough they are for being like 45 and divorced in a small town. And then having Tucker Carlson pump that shit #1 on the charts forever, which is possible.
There was a great Reddit post a while ago of like a guy who had this very unfortunate experience with a dog groomer and his dog. And the dog, I'll link it to you in the chat. This is my cousin's dog, Henry, who was given a mohawk haircut from her. We have been laughing for 2 days. Someone in the comments of that posted that it looks like the dog is divorced in Ohio with an F-150. There you go. That's
accurate. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Henry. A lot of comments about his sad eyes. So
yeah. So that dovetails us. That's the worst bit.
Yes, that is. I think it's good that we got that out of play. Maybe we should have saved that for last.
And then that dovetails us into the mission that made Jason Aldean popular, the whole like Tucker Carlson, Matt Walsh, conservative media ecosystem that made Try That in a Small Town a chart topper because it appealed to like 45-year-old white men in deeply red districts.
Yeah.
The next person they found to do that with, Anthony Oliver Anthony, who made the song Rich Men North of Rome.
Who is this guy? I described it to my friend in Japan as some guy on YouTube, but I don't know if he's done anything but this thing.
This is like his one thing. He's never been like famous for it. Like he's not a famous musician.
Yeah.
This is like really one of the first things he's ever done that's like been popular.
Okay.
And it's not even like a studio recording.
No, he's in a yard.
He's in a field. Yeah, he's
in a field with 2 dogs just hanging out behind him.
And you can like actively hear the wind.
Yeah.
In somehow recording.
Yeah.
Like he's a genuinely interesting dude because he doesn't seem like he sucks.
Okay. Interesting, given the content of this song.
Yeah. He seems like he's like kind of a small town conservative guy.
Perhaps he should have written Try That in a Small
Perhaps
Town.
He should, yeah. But he couldn't because he's from one.
Yes.
And he just like, he says things like diversity is one of his great strengths. And he says other stuff like that about, he just seems like a working class conservative, almost like Johnny Cashy kind of guy.
Sure.
Which is the kind of guy I have posited doesn't exist anymore. But he seems to be like kind of in that.
Yeah.
Which is interesting that the second person they found couldn't even like really fit the bill.
Yep.
But Oliver Ant's just like, so this shouldn't be a #1 song. I want to start there. It's recorded in a field.
Yep.
It's by a guy who's like never any kind of popular.
So did he record stuff before?
He has some stuff out.
Okay.
But like nothing. He's never billboarded before.
Okay.
In anything, like in any category.
Because it seems like you watch the video and it sounds like it looks like he's just a dude who plays regularly at like
yeah, he's got big like dude plays at a bar energy.
Yeah. And I don't know, like he doesn't have a bad voice, I don't think, but I've only listened to it once.
Yeah. And the thing that like when I watched the video, I immediately was like, oh, this is like a conservative plant or something like that to try to like gin up this whole thing and make money off like the Aldean thing. Because he has a very nice guitar, like a very nice guitar. And his mic
Did you catch what kind it is?
Gretsch, I think.
Okay.
And he has a really high quality mic. So I was like, this dude clearly, but like, no, he's like a guy who has a job, like had a traumatic brain injury, lost his job, and like picked music and did a whole other like. He's a normal fucking dude by and large.
Yeah.
It seems
okay.
Like. And go ahead.
And he just happened to write a song about satanic pedophiles in DC,
which is another beef I have with how this guy's being portrayed.
Okay.
There's one part of this song that I feel is objectionable, which is he complains about people on welfare.
Yes.
Which, if you complain about the welfare system being too generous, you're not a serious person.
Yes.
But, he has also gotten blasted for the line, I wish politicians would look out for minors and not just minors on an island somewhere.
Yeah.
Which is true.
Okay.
That's not a stretch, right? That's just like documented.
No, but I think the thing that twigs people is that is just so closely tied to batshit insanity.
Absolutely.
It is absolutely a Fox News.
Yes.
It's not quite on the same level as like Jason Aldean, but it's like enough. If you don't have any context about this guy, it's enough to make you think, oh, this guy's a QAnon.
Yes.
Or at least on that pipeline.
No, if he, like, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Like, it's just true.
Yeah. I mean, sure. But context of the song, the way it is, like, the way he is positioned in a field, and it sounds like good old boy music. Like, all of this leads me to make a snap judgment of, oh, this guy's on the QAnon.
Yeah. Which I think is like what has happened with like conservatives fucking loved it. There was a really interesting thing that happened with him where like far right social media immediately fell in love with this guy. Like actual like white supremacist fascist, like out fascist social media fell in love with this guy because he mentions the QAnon shit. He gets upset about welfare. He makes fun of fat people. They were like, all of this is in line with what we like.
Yeah.
And then he does interviews where he's like, I fucking hate you guys too. And I'm fine with black people. And like,
I mean,
all
look
this
at you
stuff.
being an actual observer of culture and going into it. Fuck you. What do you think? I got time to do this? No, I got to go to shows that get canceled because of mass shootings. I don't got time to look at interviews with this dude.
And like his other songs aren't that objectionable.
Okay.
And like he's just a fine fucking person.
Okay.
Like he's hard on welfare and he's a little fat phobic.
Basic small town.
Yeah, like that's 90% of people.
Yeah. You posit that perhaps I was not in the mentat mode.
Yeah, you were not
while making my analysis.
Yeah, you were not.
I allowed emotion to cloud my judgment.
You're Anthony Oliver Anthony fucking to the last. I keep flipping. Yeah. And I think that this is so interesting right off the heels of the Aldean shit because like isn't what they think he is.
Yeah.
And they like can't find a coherent person to like prop up in their weird fascist movement. They propped up Jason Aldean and then immediately propped up someone who was like, diversity is our strength. The working class is better than the rich. Like they just couldn't. They like, how do you hitch your cart to the wrong horse so quickly?
Well, I don't know, because like that's been working class is better than the rich has been like a thing that has been touted by chunks of fascist movements in terms of like the elites versus the populist mentality. So it's like it's not far off. And I think what you're getting at is you're saying based off of someone who looked at what this guy has said in other contexts and only nerds are gonna do that, Shark. Only giant dweebazoids are going to do that.
But like if he becomes popular and he gets like another song that like
Yeah.
charts decently, it's not gonna be Rich Men with the Rich Men. Like we can only do the shtick one time.
Yeah, sure. Well, you say that, but what if, again, just like, what if he hits the realization of like, well, Jason Aldean makes a lot.
But like Jason Aldean's other songs, like Big Green Tractor
Yeah,
and so about like you only get one of these songs,
yeah,
and just like it just doesn't. I don't get it as much. And I also think it's a little bit about how like the charts are calculated.
yeah.
The chart
How are charts calculated? I don't. Was this was just a YouTube,
Well, it's on
right?
like Spotify and stuff like that,
Okay,
and Apple Music and like all this shit.
all
And
right,
Richmond North of Richmond sold like 150,000 tracks,
okay.
which means that 150,000 people paid 99 cents to download an MP3 of the song off the internet, which is why it charted, which is
Yeah, okay.
a fucking insane way to do this, right?
Yeah,
And it's had a lot of streams and stuff, and it's big on YouTube, but
people are dragging the MP3 to the home screen of their
yeah,
phone.
yeah, exactly. Which
Just
is like
on
not
repeat for 10 hours.
is not like a valid method by which to judge whether a song, but that's a whole other side thing.
Yeah, that's something I am not equipped at all to deal with, like, talking about, is like, how do you chart these things? I don't know. There's a band that I still can, yeah, I still like them, like Ailstorm and then Glory Hammer, and like the guy who started both of these bands will occasionally go on like tears on Reddit where he talks to people about why he writes the songs that he does, because they get a lot of streams, and then he breaks down how streaming is viewed like monetarily by record companies. And I am not exaggerating when I say that I got a better handle on like quantum relativity by reading a couple of books than I do by how streaming is viewed by music labels. I don't understand. Brian Greene has made me understand why gravity impacts time more than this stuff.
Yeah, it's incredibly complicated, and my beef is largely that like I think people who are still buying songs on like iTunes are
Yeah.
way overvalued in this calculation, which I feel like is part of why
Yeah,
these songs
maybe.
are very successful. I think like old people
Yeah,
have
mean,
an
I-
outsized impact.
maybe. I don't. I'd be interested in like learning how like Bandcamp factors into this stuff, because I buy a fair chunk of stuff off of that service, but that's
Yeah.
like full albums.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, it's all very complicated, but I feel like old people a weird influence on some of them. But yeah, my point here is like Anthony Oliver doesn't seem that objectionable. Oliver Anthony,
Okay.
Jesus fucking Christ. Get
John
the
Oliver.
last name. John Oliver, yeah.
Yeah, Anthony
He-
Bourdain.
He doesn't seem that bad. He seems anti-well. Can we stop roasting him for the Epstein thing?
Okay. All right.
Like as
Okay.
a culture, we just need to
Hey.
accept that our politicians fuck 16-year-old girls on an island.
They do.
That's just
That
what
is-
they do.
That is, I will grant you that they do.
You know, it's like when I say that the FBI and CIA have killed multiple journalists. That is true, but everyone then also assumes that I think they killed JFK. Which they did, but
There you go.
one of those things is provably true, and I shouldn't get a negative insinuation for saying it at a coffee shop at 8:30.
I feel like if you went back to that subpar bagel place that I found
Yeah.
and said it there, they'd be on your side pretty.
Yeah, they would be on board.
Yeah. So maybe you should go back to the.
I'm planning a trip to New York, and I'm contemplating
nice.
bringing a suitcase just to fill it with bagels. For my,
Bagels, knishes, get some Bialys.
yeah, for my train ride.
Oh, you're doing a train.
Yeah, I have some friends in Chicago. We're going, and then we're taking the train from there to New York because it would be like way cheaper than 2 flights.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, travel by train, folks. It's the most efficient method of long distance travel humankind has
Yeah.
ever created, and you can do it.
You can.
$500 trip, New Mexico to New York, 2 people.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
That's pretty good. I thought about doing that for a Chicago trip
yeah.
coming up, but then I thought that I don't want to be away from my boy for that long.
You can take him on the train.
You have to put him in a thing.
He could be in a thing.
I don't want to put him in a thing. He
Get
deserves.
Get him a service dog vest. He barely moves.
Yeah.
No one will care.
Yeah, you haven't been around him when we're outside of the apartment. Like if we're not moving and we're not in the apartment, he just starts whining immediately.
I don't believe it. I think you'd have to take Barry through the train station on like a wheelie cart.
We should get my dog a Rascal.
Yeah, exactly. Barry has huge Rascal scooter. Just riding through a Walmart parking lot, bumping into parked cars.
The other morning, I was sitting on the floor with him, and I tried to get him to play, and he just got up, turned around, and laid back down.
Yeah. I think it could make it on the train.
Yeah, probably.
When are you going to Chicago?
October. Got a cousin's wedding.
Give me dates. I'll be in Chicago in October.
No, oh, shit. All right. We'll
plan this sometime when we're not publishing it.
Yeah, exactly.
Aaron will be in Chicago October 2nd. The address.
Let's be honest. I don't know. This might go up. Then we'll see.
Yeah.
All right. So your contention is that Anthony Oliver, aka Oliver Anthony.
Yeah. I think he got a raw deal.
All right. Okay. I will entertain this notion. If you have links to the interviews, you should share them.
Yeah.
And we can let the marketplace of ideas decide.
Yeah. And like the same week, essentially, like No Name, the rapper, put out an album with
I don't know who No Name is.
Great rapper.
Okay.
Put out an album with someone named J-Elect doing one of the verses, who just has like an actively anti-Semitic.
Nobody likes the Jews.
So like Oliver Anthony is getting dragged, and I think
nobody likes the Jews.
I think it's like a microcosm of what we're talking about with the Jason. Like his aesthetic is like he's got like that racist core aesthetic.
He does.
And so he's good enough. Like the far right will take him.
Yeah. Even when he's trying to actively reject them, is what you're saying.
Yeah, which I think is really interesting.
Yeah.
Because like there aren't a lot of real artists that will hitch their wagon to weird, shitty fascists.
Yeah.
It's just Jason Aldean.
Yeah. Yeah. The anti-Semitism thing is always interesting when it pops up in specifically like rap and hip hop. Yeah. I wonder what the mix is. Like someone who is not me, and probably not you, should write about that and do an episode.
You don't think I should be like, here's my thoughts on hip hop?
I think there are contexts when it is valid for the two of us to write about that.
And it's that Kanye West did nothing wrong.
Exactly. I feel like I could comment on the Beastie Boys, perhaps. But
me too. I've been to New York. I'm planning a trip to Brooklyn. I could talk about the Beastie Boys. I'm qualified.
God, that's a good.
Take the train from Chicago to New York with yes.
Homeland calls.
The Homeland, yeah. The with the sound of the Beastie.
The sound of the Beastie. Yeah. I was at the bar I was wound up at last night was doing like Aaron Simon's 90s playlist.
Oh, wow.
Like high school playlist, sorry. It was like a bunch of Offspring, Beastie Boys.
The Butthole Surfers.
Butthole Surfers were on there. The Trooper by Iron Maiden popped up a couple of times.
Oh.
Yeah. Trooper's good shit.
I've listened to that one Butthole Surfers song so many times on acid that it makes me feel like I'm on acid.
Have you listened to Steal My Sunshine again since I pointed out its existence?
No. I was like, this can't. This feels like you plugged 90s song into an AI generator. There was a similar moment like in my mid and finding out that Hanson existed and being like, I just need to not with this ever again.
Yeah, that was a big thing. There was the whole whole weird conspiracy theory that they all died on a bus crash that floated around for a while.
Because they did.
They did.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the only time that a conspiracy theory has been proven.
Yeah. So my point here is just let's
Okay.
all be nice. Oliver Anthony, he's fine.
Okay.
He's not great, but he's fine.
He's fine.
And
there are
he's-
bigger fish out there.
Yeah.
We-
Than the one guy with the one young where he's kind of mean to fat people.
Okay.
And just like it's a sign that the fascist movement is a failure, their guy.
Yeah.
He's no Julius Stryker. Like he's
He is-
not
he is
fucking
not.
out here like
He is not. The guy at the
Actually-
bar last night, however, who had a Sonnenrad tattoo.
no.
Oh yeah, Sonnenrad tattoo, like a Thor's hammer patch next to an
Wow.
American flag patch. I saw that. I like texted a friend of mine. I was like, "Should I go say hi?" And they're like, "Dear God, no."
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, people don't like to talk about that about redacted.
No, but it
But-
does exist.
Oh, it does.
Yeah, I guess the other thing I want to talk about in countries, Hot Girl Summer currently happening right
Sure.
now,
Yeah.
is Fast Car. Have you not seen the whole Fast Car thing?
What is fast? Is this F1? Are we talking about Formula One?
Yeah, that's what I
Are we
call
talking
it,
about
Fast Car.
Yeah, Forza Horizon 5?
The one in Formula One's for car, and the
Yes.
F stands for fast. Fast
Yes.
Car.
Fast car.
No, you know the Tracy Chapman song that your like lesbian friends listen to? You absolutely
If Rachel were on, she would know.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
I might have heard it before, but
You absolutely have.
Okay.
Everyone's heard it. Some of those songs that everyone's heard.
Okay.
And Tracy Chapman,
like "Steal My Sunshine" by Len.
no one has heard that song. Not a single person.
All right, continue. Sorry, I'm gonna link it.
Yeah.
All right,
The power of edit because you need to understand what the song
Madness.
is.
you make a big assumption in assuming that there is a power of editing.
Fast
All right.
Car, everybody knows it.
Let's see. "Steal My Sunshine." You sure?
It is impossible that you've been alive and you don't know this song.
Well, I'm listening. Oh, okay. Yep. All right.
Yeah.
I did not know who sang that, but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's an objectively good song.
Yep.
It was recently covered by a guy named Luke Combs.
Okay.
Is
he an Old Crow Medicine show?
I have no idea.
Luke Combs. Might be a different Luke. Okay. Yeah, different guy
His
then.
his cover essentially added nothing to the song.
I think I went to high school with this guy. I didn't.
Also has a large red beard. I could not tell you the difference between him and Oliver Andy in a police
No.
lineup.
No.
Like they look like the same dude.
Yes.
As far as I'm concerned.
Yep.
They are the same dude. I can't otherwise. Luke Combs did a cover that is now very popular. Is charted higher than the original.
Wow. All right.
This is upsetting people because Tracy Chapman is a black woman who is very quiet about her sexuality, but also probably gay.
Okay.
And Luke Combs looks like Oliver Anthony. He's like a fucking big white Southern dude.
Yeah.
People don't like this. Discuss.
Okay. So the only equivalent that I have right now, and I know what you're going to say, but I'm gonna say it
It's
is
gonna be a fucking. Please go ahead.
Baldur's Gate 3.
yeah, that is.
The-
I was like, it could be Baldur's Gate 30 because that's what Aaron's life is, or it's music. So this could be about Fiddler on the Roof or the producer.
No, it's like the community has talked the community, quote, heavy quotes, has talked themselves into believing that the game dev is going to do a bunch of different things that they have talked themselves into believing was the intention all along. It's a shared delusion that they have all created. And because there are not indications that this will happen immediately soon, I can just see as if I am in Minority Report and I can see, the precog vision of what's going to happen soon. And I can see the Baldur's Gate 3 subreddit turning into a shrieking hellhole in
Yeah.
the next week.
They're GameStop stalking themselves.
They are yes, they are stonking themselves. Yes.
Stalk- Yeah.
So what I'm getting at is people need to touch.
Yes.
I don't know anything about Looms. He might be a douchebag.
I'm
He might be a
sure
good
he
guy.
is.
There are better things to be upset about in the world. Go outside. Be angry at Ted Wheeler for being a dipshit. Be angry at your mayor for being a dipshit, because they probably are a dipshit.
Yes.
For the love of God, channel your anger into something that is going to help people.
And you had just hit on where I wanted to end this episode,
Okay.
which is like Jason Aldean, a great person, to try to shoot at one of his concerts, hypothetically.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
In Minecraft.
Not
in
original.
Roblox.
Yeah,
in
Roblox,
Fortnite.
the Fortnites, the Minecraft of the youth.
Yes.
Yeah, like he sucks. Rational thing to get mad about that he made like the fascist anthem of the early summer.
Yeah.
These other two things.
I have another analogy, but go on.
Is it Fiddler on the Roof based?
It is not Fiddler.
And
It is another dumb thing that people got angry about.
What
Two
was
dumb
it?
things.
What was
Two
it?
dumb things. So the first dumb thing, chronologically, is that Cillian Murphy playing Robert Oppenheimer, who's a Jewish man, and Cillian Murphy is Irish.
And the second thing is the Maestro Nose thing for sure, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And I saw snippets of this in left-wing Jewish groups in 2020 when they were losing their goddamn mind about how dare the Goyim use challah for brunch.
It's just one of the best breads. Like, come on.
It's fucking bread, man. Like, cool the fuck down. And then this is not Southern Baptists appropriating Passover.
Every Passover, I send out a picture of a challah loaf braided into a cross, in case you're wondering, listener. Which is where this is coming from.
That's not where it's challah. It's bread. And like, I tried to have civil things about this, and it would just devolve into like people who needed to touch grass would lose their goddamn minds and be like, no, this is anti-Semitism. No. Anti-Semitism is people who misread entire situations and start like spray painting a fucking restaurant when they should go after like maybe an embassy. I don't know. Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly.
Or, anti-Semitism is perhaps the people who spray paint one of the synagogues in town or the Holocaust. Cool your fucking jets.
Yeah. Anti-Semitism is saying one mean thing about Israel, for example.
One mean thing.
Yeah, one
mean
thing.
One thing.
Yeah.
Because everyone knows that Israel, you go if fascism happens where you live. Ignore the fascism that happens in Israel.
Yeah.
But no, it's like this just insanity. And I think everyone has always.
Yes.
This is a fact about humanity. But the social media has made it so goddamn worse. And I blame Tumblr because that's when I grew up. Tumblr is where the lunatics hung out.
Yeah.
And it's in my warped view of this all, it's like the Tumblrification of every social media platform where everyone has
aimlessly pissed.
Yeah. And it's like you have a legitimate just focus for that's legit, but you got to do something productive with it and you have to be smart. You can't just blow your entire just energy at Luke Combs for covering a popular song.
Yeah, like he covered a song.
This is what people, and it's also the same thing of like, I don't know if you were in Redacted when there was like the mishigas about like white people owning taco restaurants.
Oh, good. Oh.
And I think it's like people see these video essays about how important food is culture, and they don't exercise critical thought in their daily lives, and so they apply that to every.
Yeah.
Because they want to sound smart, and the people that they spend all of their time watching on YouTube say these things.
Yeah. To keep it in our cultural wheelhouse, I watched an hour, 45-minute video essay about how The Lion King 1.5 is anti-Semitic.
What?
I was having a rough day.
Can you explain this, please?
Yeah, so Timon of Timon and Pumbaa is Jewish. His name is Timon Berkowitz, and he's Jewish. All the meerkats are Jewish in The Lion King, canonically speaking.
What?
Yes.
Is this just...
They're canonically Jewish.
Is this just because Nathan Lane voiced Timon?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Timon Berkowitz is a canonically Jewish meerkat, and
I'm gonna look this up. I gotta.
And all the meerkats speak Yiddish to each other.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do. Not like just Yiddish, but
Meerkats Wiki.
But they throw in
what?
They're Jewish. All the Lion King meerkats are Jewish.
Timon's earlier days back with his meerkat family, including his mother Ma and Uncle Max.
They're Jewish.
That what?
I get really into The Lion 1.5.
Plot. They watch want sometime before the events of he's an outcast from the daydreaming. It leads to the near death of his uncle Max, the hands of the hyenas, Nala, yada. Is this just like a Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead version of Lion King? Is that what this is?
Essentially, yeah. It's from the
Okay.
perspective of Timon, who leaves his oppressive Jewish family and his nagging Jewish mother to
Okay.
go live in a land of plenty, and then leads his community out of a desert and
God,
into
he's
the
Moses.
land of plenty. He's Meerkat
Moshe.
Moses. Yeah, yeah.
Moshe.
He's Jewish. He's Timon Berkowitz. That's the plot of The Lion King 1.5.
Huh. All right.
It's just Exodus.
Yeah, everyone remembers Moshe's mother.
Yeah, and at the end of this essay, the person's just been like an hour and 45 tearing into like the fact that The Lion King 1.5 is anti-Semitic, and then wraps up the video being like, I love this movie. I don't care. Like, I'm Jewish, I like The Lion King 1.5. It's fine.
What's their argument for being anti-Semitic?
That it's like making a lot of like jokes about Jewish people throughout.
Do they hate Mel Brooks?
Well, like none of the creators of Lion King 1.5 are Jewish.
Okay.
Which makes it strange that the movie is incredibly Jewish. And they were like, I've made an hour and 45-minute video essay about this, and I don't dislike the movie. And I'm not telling you shouldn't watch it. You do critical media studies to like see things in a new light and learn something about both the thing and yourself in that process. So it can be fine. I can make an hour and 45-minute video, this part of it, and still like it. And I just feel like we could use that more as a culture.
Do you think it's an anti-Semitic movie?
I have never seen The Lion 1.5, but you will soon, I'm sure. I have ground the moment of this podcast to a halt with this example.
You have. I mean, it's Jerry Stiller is in it. Matthew Broderick.
This is now a podcast about The Lion King 1.5.
1.5. All right. Yeah. All right. Going back to that. I don't know. It's fucking weird. Like, you gotta be able to roll with, I don't know, if it's funny, I don't know, it's funny.
Yeah.
Fucking relax, man. I don't know, like, are you gonna say Walter Sobchak is an anti-Semitic character? Because
every character in Seinfeld.
Every character in Seinfeld is anti.
Yeah.
I mean, no, because they're David, the creators. But no, it's just like, yeah, fucking chill.
Yeah.
It's you should be able to poke fun at other people, and like,
yeah.
As long as it's not like the meerkats are all drinking the blood of a Christian animal or something.
That would have been awesome. That would have been fucking incredible in The Lion King laugh.
Introducing the blood libels in the Lion King canon.
Timon drinks lion blood as a way. Oh god. And I feel like it cheapens Jason Aldean's fascism to say that Oliver Anthony is in like the same class. Like, yeah. Jason Aldean is like, I'll shoot you.
Yeah.
If you come to my town.
Me and the boys are gonna beat the shit out of you if you do this. Yeah.
Whereas Oliver Anthony said that politicians have sex with children, which is true.
Yeah.
And is kind of mean to obese people and welfare recipients, which is just something that any small town, everybody thinks.
Yeah.
It's not great.
Yeah.
But it's not Jason Aldean.
Yeah, you are right. Perhaps I jumped the gun in my analysis, guy. Maybe.
And if you're going to get mad at him for anything, you need to be upset that he rhymes 300 pounds with the bags of fudge rounds, which is one of the most forced rhymes I've ever heard in my life. It's atrocious writing, and we should all be upset with him for that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, maybe this is like a time for a little like critical media studies where we can like actually evaluate what's fascist and what isn't as like a part of our cultural zeitgeist, and we can use countries Hot Girl Summer, where fucking all of the Billboard charts were dominated by it, to like have a nuanced discussion about what makes something suck or not.
I invite you to have that conversation with people while I sit.
I have been, and it's exhausting. I'm done.
How is it? How is it? How does it go? I have not been having the aside from just sighing and going. "Ah." So what? How does the discussion go in your experience?
Well, as a master of polite conversation,
The most.
yeah, it's
I mean,
my
compared to
strong-
me, you are. I go from like from I'm listening to you to just doing like an Adam Sandler like off the bat. So you are.
That's fair.
Yeah.
It's gone like me talking to someone who's been like, it's just a song, bro. And I've been like, here's the reason why Jason Aldean's a fascist. And that's one conversation I have. And then they're like, get over it, Snowflake. And I'm like, I hope you get shot at a Jason Aldean. And then it ends.
You need to stop going to that ball thing. Like you never people seem to want to talk to you.
They really do.
And it never goes well.
It's a problem in bars because I'm like tall.
Ah.
And I draw moron, moth to a flame.
See, people don't come up to me.
Yeah. I'm tall and I like look like I want to talk to people, which is a tragic mistake that I can't.
Grow a beard.
That's fair.
And see if that changes things.
That could be.
I wonder if that's part of it.
My supple, boyish good looks.
Yeah, exactly. You're just boyish, supple, boyish good looks. All right, so that's one conversation.
And the other conversation is the one where I'm like, politicians do have sex with people on islands, and people are like, you're a crazy person. And that's what like frustrates me, is that I haven't had a real conversation about either of these songs despite trying my best to like talk to people who have opinions.
Yeah, but and when they say that, you don't go like, well, we were making jokes about the Epstein list.
Yeah, I was like, remember fucking like a year and a half ago?
You remember Matt Gaetz?
Yeah. You remember when they hung him in his cell? Like,
you remember this?
It just happened. It wasn't that long ago. Bill Clinton was there.
Yeah.
Stephen Hawking was there for
Stephen Hawking there? I did not know that.
Yep.
What could he?
But I don't get it. I don't get why like liberals are freaked out about Oliver Anthony. I don't get why conservatives don't know that Jason Aldean is just the fakest piece of shit that's ever existed. I don't get any of it. And I'm upset.
I can do this.
I'm here today to tell you that I'm upset.
This is a much healthier version of a YouTube video essay.
Yeah.
There is no health that comes out of a YouTube video essay.
In this essay, I will prove that I am upset. I need everyone to calm down or get angrier.
Depending on what it is that we are discussing.
Because like if we can't as a country admit that like Portland is not just like carjacking and liquor store robberies.
But it is.
Oh yeah. You've robbed 3 liquor stores today.
Today? Yeah. How else am I gonna get Ryan Reynolds' gin?
What?
Yeah, he owns Aviation Gin.
Does he really?
Yeah, that's fine. I'm not a big fan of gin. I mean, I'll drink it, but there was a while ago, a friend of mine was, back when she was still dating, was going out with this guy, and she was like, I'm really unsure about this guy. And I go, do you want me to give him an interview? She goes, what does that mean? I was like, I will ask him insane things. and write down his answers, and you can you will then use this in your decision to continue.
It's incredible.
And she said, yeah, sure, let's do it. Okay. So I arrived at this bar early when he was going to get there, and I ordered 2 straight gins. I had one of the gins in front of me, and I had another gin in front of him. And I wasn't clean shaven, but I trimmed and was in a suit that was clean and pressed.
Oh, good Lord, not your element.
Not my element. And he sat down. If it's okay with, would like to get started, and I ordered you a drink. So you're welcome. And it was, I forget a lot of the questions, but it was like, what are your opinions of Wagner's anti-Semitism?
Oh Lord, that's incredible. Oh.
Yeah. Why did I start telling that story? Aviation Gin. That was fine. Because gin. That was the last time I drank straight gin.
It's my favorite thing to order at a bar if I want to clinically insane.
Yeah, that's exactly why.
I genuinely enjoy gin. And I will drink.
As someone who enjoys Slivovitz, I think that's crazy.
No, that is an insane choice that you drink Manischewitz, for example.
It's not Manischewitz, god damn it. I only drink that as a gag.
It does make you. It's true.
It does. I thought it would be a funny joke to bring that to someone's house for Passover dinner, and they never spoke to me again. So
Because you drank it straight from the bottle.
they did not think it was a funny joke.
Oh, I feel like that's where we get into trouble.
What, the Manischewitz thing?
Just jokes.
This is
just
this
jokes.
is an anti-Semitic podcast now
Yeah.
because I'm mocking Manischewitz.
Yeah, much like the
Yes.
Lion King 1.5.
Yes, a standby of all Jewish culture.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So like, let's all just fucking actually call fascists and not
Yeah.
call Oliver Anthony a fascist. Like,
No,
it can be
Shark,
fine.
you got to realize that there are a limited amount of responses you can have to people who aren't exactly like you in thought. One is they're a CIA op.
Yeah.
Two, they're a fascist.
Yeah.
And three, they're CIA.
Yeah.
Those are the three responses that you can have.
Yeah.
My favorite take has been it was floating around for a while. I don't know if it still is that anarchists are just libs.
What?
Yes.
Why?
It was a very online Marxist thing. Well, and you ask why. The answer is because socialism, you work in a factory.
Oh Lord. One of my favorite moments from all of history that doesn't get talked about enough is right before the Russian Revolution, like late 1800s, early 1900s. A bunch of like Moscow and St. Peter's anarchist and nihilist and communist street youths did a thing they referred
Youths.
did a thing they referred to as going. So they went out to the Russian agricultural area and tried to like do communist and anarchist organizing, and they just knew fuck all.
Yeah. You can't organize from the outside.
Yeah, and it was like a resounding failure, and they all like went back to Moscow just like totally defeated. And it's just
Well, you know what that means. They tried that in a small
tried that in a
town.
small town.
And look what happened.
Yeah.
The Tsar's men came for them.
Oh.
And then they all did a poke,
They all did including the communists.
including the communists, which happened quite often, but you know.
Oh, yeah.
Again, nobody likes Jews.
Except I don't think anarchists have done bad things to Jews historically. Probably.
I'm just willing to bet
Yeah.
that it has
right.
happened, but no, I mean, I think by and large, I don't know. It's
You don't hear a lot of anarchist
I am-
genocides.
yeah, I am less hesitant about bringing up like, oh, I try not to organize things on Shabbos around anarchists than I am around Marxists.
Yeah,
so
because anarchists didn't write a pamphlet called "On the Jewish Question."
and generally speaking, much better people to.
Oh god, fucking tankies are insufferable at the risk of attracting the wrong online audience.
Well, now we've triggered Chapo Trap House, and
Yeah,
they they will now come for us.
a
Oh my god!
group of
They-
people brilliant on their own, but they form like Voltron into one stupid fucking meme when they're together.
They form, yeah. It's always sunny in Philadelphia. They share a brain,
Yeah,
and when they're in close proximity, it gets divided out evenly, so they're dumber.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah. So nuance. We can do it, maybe.
We
for
can.
this society.
We should try.
Yeah.
We should try to how am I going to tie this into Baldur's Gate?